Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my friends all across the globe today. Hope you guys are having a wonderful start to your week. My name is Leaf, and as always, it is so great to have you guys back here for another episode of Riverbend Discovery Center. So today we are actually working on this beautiful, huge expansion. I really wasn't planning on making anything this grand for river otters, but I don't know, I just kind of felt the need to. So as you guys can probably tell already, I'm making this big splash pad area, and we don't actually use all of it. I kind of just put it down initially just to get a good idea of how much space I would need for a project like this. Essentially what I'm doing a kind of like mixed habitat kind of. I'm doing a little bit of a lower area for viewing when it comes to like guests kind of like coming up right up to the glass in the underwater viewing while they're playing around in the splash pad. And I also have some viewing up at the top in case if guests don't really want to go near like all the splash pad, all those white kids and stuff like that. Personally I wouldn't, but if it means getting a better look at the otters, maybe I would, but who knows. Essentially what I'm doing down here, also I am using the path to essentially kind of, just make sure that all my guests can access down there. You may be wondering how I have such an intense slope right there. That is because of the free build mod, and it is such a lifesaver when it comes to stuff like that. And this actually led to a very good unintentional feature of this. I actually use the path borders, which I always love using for that new European path, and I essentially was able to make this beautiful planter area, and we kind of just dress it up later down the line. This area was so fun to decorate. It was so fun just get back into that Riverbend foliage grind. Oh my gosh, I haven't been able to do something like that in so long. I know, like, I've been working on Hope Island that has its own kind of distinct flair. I've also been working over in Bonita Springs. You guys will be seeing an episode for that later down the line. But no, I haven't really been able to do something akin to Riverbend recently. And I don't know, I'm just very excited with how well it came out. And we also do some really fun stuff with the faux rocks in here. I've been playing around with some new faux rock techniques over in my ZSU Zoo. If you guys aren't already familiar with Hope Island Zoo, essentially what ZSU is, even though I don't know why we're talking about it in a Riverbend episode, but it's essentially an online role-playing community for zoo people, I guess. You can use any form of media that you want. You can use Planet Zoo, you can use Zoo Tycoon, you can do papercraft, you could do it in MS Paint if you want. I know a few people who are doing it in there, but it's just a really fun way to get a more accurate franchise going. But all that being said, I really just wanted to make sure my otters had enough space in their exhibit. So I was like, you know what, they don't have nearly enough water, like for as large as the habitat is, they don't have enough water. So I kind of made sure that, they have a little bit more river to work with. And yeah, it was just really fun, and you can see me start to do all those faux rock styles. I just have these beautiful big pillars using those long rocks, and it was so fun to kind of have that come out. Also going over here, I am working on a beautiful, huge expansion to this building. I really wanted to have a nice, huge building when it came to these guys, because I thought this would be kind of like a centralized area for otter breeding. Maybe like later down the line, Riverbend might be able to get like African clawless and be able to breed those. Maybe they could get spotted otters and breed those, but no, I just was really enamored with how well all of this came out, and it was just really fun to put together as well. Even just making like the entire layout to this place, it was really fun, and being able to combine like so many different things that we've created from the past throughout all of Riverbend, just trying to combine the styles, it was a really fun thing to do. And especially with these fences, excuse me for 1 second because I did not realize my computer was going to die, so I need to reach all the way down here in order to plug it back in. Isn't that great? But going on throughout here, I really just want to have some different panels for which guests can kind of view through as a way to, get up and close with the otters. And we have a few areas for them to kind of get nice and up close with them. Since otters are very personable animals, usually guests like to get right up to the glass, and so do the otters in so many cases. I know at Roger Williams we have two different otter species. We have the giant otter, and we also have the North American river otter, and both of them love the attention. Both of them love getting right up to the glass, and it's the best thing to experience. If you guys are ever in the area, it's a really wonderful zoo. But going on through here, I really just wanted the centralized kind of like area where guests could probably go in order to get nice and close to that glass. And we also continue that fencing all throughout the rest of the kind of plaza, I guess you could kind of describe it as, just as a way to, you know, make us feel a little bit more closed in, just to make them feel a little bit more encapsulated within the area. Because, I don't know, this is a point in Riverbend where I'm like, okay, we've done so much stuff on the grid, I finally want to, like, branch out and do something different, and do something a little bit more fun, and that's exactly what we're doing over here. Also, over here, what I'm starting to do, I'm doing this kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like a cave kind of thing. I don't really know how to describe it. We recently went to Mystic Aquarium, me and Nick and a few of our friends, and we were enamored with like all the rock work over there, and I've just been dying to get into all that stuff. You guys will see it in the ZSU episode coming out soon. It was just a really fun thing to get into, just because it's so fun when you go to a zoo and you get so inspired off of, like, you know, the local architecture. You get inspired off of the rock work, the exhibitry. It's just, even like the animals, like, wow, I really want to build a beluga area now. It's just a really fun thing to go to zoos, and you finally get so inspired to do stuff like that. If you guys haven't been to a zoo in so long, I really suggest that you guys do, because it's so worth it. It's so fun. And yeah, you guys are bound to have a great time when it comes to that stuff. So over here, I really also wanted to make some stairs going down. It's not ADA compliant right now, but I will be adding some rampage in later down the line, because even, like, you know, people who can't use stairs still deserve to see otters from all different angles. And here we are actually getting into the bulk of the build. This is like the part where I was like, oh man, I'm so excited to get into this. So originally, like, before I actually started this part of the build, I was like, I don't really care. I'm not really too good at this build, so I don't really, like, want to get too heavy into it. But this was a point in it where I was like, oh my god, I love building for otters. So over here I kind of just changed out the tile colors, and I think it worked actually pretty well, because we did get to distinguish between the splash pad and more so walking areas, just in case if, you know, guests do want to come down there and they don't want to get splashed at, kids would know, oh, maybe I shouldn't splash at the person over on, like, the brown tiles or something. I don't know, I felt like that was a really fun role-playing element in there. And we're also adding some of those nice faux rock clusters, just as a way to make sure that otters don't go on that area. And we also make use of the mulch pieces as well. If you guys aren't already aware, I'm not using modded pieces in this zoo. I am using modded animals, but for the pieces, I will not be using them, because I want to make sure that you guys can download this so that you guys can experience this park all for yourselves. It's going to be a really awesome thing to have. But, no, it's just going through here, adding in all this foliage. It was really fun just to get back into all of this, because just using all these combinations of foliage was really fun to do. Even like using those bushes again, they're such beautiful pieces, and they complement Riverbend so nicely along with the cattails. Those are really awesome pieces as well. I always love using those. Like, I don't know why, I can't shake building in temperate, like, kind of woodsy areas. I know this is the case for, like, so many other people. I know, like, Estan and Drew love to build in their swamps and their woodsy areas, and I can completely understand why. It's such an addicting, like, I don't know, method of zoo building that nothing else beats it. It's just really fun. But going on through here we're actually working on that actual building structure. This was a really fun one to put together, and I don't think I've had this much fun building buildings before, just because, I don't know, it was just so fun just to try out new shapes and sizes. Just really awesome to kind of get into, like, a whole new style of building, and it was just really fun. I really do love the sight lines that it gives you as well. Once you're actually, like, down below, it looks like such a huge complex, and you're probably like, oh my gosh, what's happening in there? And then you realize you can't actually go in there. So this would probably be an area where, like, Riverbend would keep their ambassador animals. Like, if they have some off-show animals, they would definitely keep them in this building right over here. But essentially, essentially just going through and adding like all the shingles to it, making sure that it overlaps a little bit, because in Riverbend I would expect it to snow a little bit, and when it comes to snow you got to make sure that you always have like kind of sloped things going down, because you don't want it all to congregate in one area. Otherwise, it will all just collapse in on itself. That's a very important thing when it comes to zoo building that I hope you guys take away from this video, is that you always got to plan for the elements. You always got to plan for, like, you know, snow. You got to plan for rain and stuff like that. Even thunder in some cases. You don't want an entirely metal roof in some cases in some areas. But essentially what we're doing over here is kind of decorating the rest of the zoo, making sure that it looks really nice. Just using a nice load of bracken, using a nice load of arrowwood bushes as a way to brighten up the area, make sure it looks all nice and prim and proper. And that's not even like the bulk of the stuff that we get into. I can't wait till we decorate like the top of that underwater viewing. That is like my favorite part of this entire build. And I don't know why we just paused right here, but you know what? Maybe Leaf needed to think a little bit. Maybe we just needed to take a little sit and take a little think. Who knows? Also adding those ponytail palms, because they are such beautiful pieces. I really do hope we get more pieces like that, like, you know, they serve one purpose, but I just use them for the complete opposite purpose. I know I've seen a lot of ponytail palms whenever I went down to Florida. They're such beautiful trees, but oh my gosh, I just wish we had like those sawgrasses or whatever we use them for. I don't really know what they are, but it's just a really awesome piece that I would love to get more of in the future, you know? And essentially what we're doing over here, we are kind of working on this custom path. Again, I probably might change this out later down the line. I'm still not really sold on it. It's not the best looking path to me. Maybe I would want to change out, like, maybe for some color, maybe for something a little bit more brighter, but who knows. I kind of do like, I don't know, the industrial kind of look to it in some cases, but in other cases I'm like, okay, maybe we should like do some different colors, because you wouldn't really see zoos kind of like this. You would see them kind of like integrate some of that, like, I don't really know how you describe it. It's kind of like a rubbery texture of flooring. I also just covered that up because I didn't want to decorate that area. I just made like a hard cutoff line for me. But I don't know, maybe we could integrate some new kinds of paths later down the line. But over here, we're essentially just dressing up this entire area. I used a little bit of that alpine currant. I don't think I used any nettles, surprisingly. I probably should have, because it's such a beautiful piece. But also, if you guys don't already know, I love using bamboo. It is such a versatile piece, and it's really awesome for industries, wow. Industries kind of like the zoo industry, where you need a lot of tropical looking foliage, and you need it to grow nice and quickly, and bamboo does that job perfectly. I also use a load of bracken to make sure it feels a little bit more forested, and we kind of continue that throughout the entire rest of the build down there. Just essentially as a way to kind of make this area feel a little bit more clustered off from the rest of the zoo. And I thought about using the reskinned acacia trees, but I realized I have not used those Aleppo pines yet. I have not used them at all. So I figure, you know what, might as well give them a little bit of love. And we also do a little bit of work inside of here, nothing crazy, I just wanted to make sure it looked fine from the outside. But the otters do now have an interior. I will probably work on that later down the line, but interiors scare me. They are extremely scary things, and I've only done them like once or twice, and I don't really want to do them again. Maybe later down the line we could actually integrate some more like lore into the otter building. Maybe we could say that it was originally made for a giant otter, but they kind of retrofitted it because they had to give them away or something. But I don't know, I just kind of like that whole story to it. But I was kind of working on making sure that we have a little bit better guest traversability, a little bit better otter traversability. Yeah, I'm sorry guys, I'm looking at my coffee right now and it is untouched. So pardon me if I do start to make no sense at all. Maybe I should have a little bit of a sip of it. You guys are fine without me for a couple seconds. Hold up. Alright, back in the game. We're also using some of those Dutchman breeches as a way to give it a little bit more pop, a little bit more color. I really do love using those in this zoo because it's such a beautiful building piece to work with, especially when it comes to Riverbend, because I love Riverbend's style. I love the colors in it. It is just full of like, you know, your neutrals, but it also has white and green, and I feel like that's such a distinctive color. When it comes to this entire zoo, it's really awesome just to see how well that all comes out. And we also integrate some more like, you know, low-bearing fruits. I don't really know. A little bit more lower foliage. Foliage on the ground. Ground cover. Ground cover, yes. You guys like how I just connected those neurons? Oh my god, they've been separated for a while. But essentially doing all of that. And we also add some windows as well, just to make sure that the area feels a little bit more lived in. I would definitely love to see this build as like, you know, naturally sitting in with like the entire complex. I don't know. And it works extremely well. We also use Forge's screens over here. Not screens, but like sunshades as a way to give our guests a little bit more shade, and they fit the vibe of Riverbend so perfectly. They look so beautiful, and I'm so happy that I found those in there. I was looking at some other ones. You saw me pick out Simply Savannah's. By the way, other awesome creator. I know you guys are probably already subscribed to her, but already go check her out. But no, some of those didn't really fit the bill all that well. But once I did get those Zoo Foundry ones, those ones were perfect. They were like angular and just gritty enough that it made sense. And here we go. This is what I took away from Mystic. I love their faux rocks with like some deadish plants kind of sticking off the top of it. And I thought it came out so well. I really do love building kind of like stuff like that because it's so fun just to really like work with these drier plants on the top. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to really water it all that well unless if you have a hose, so I would probably prioritize like plants that don't really require a lot of water, and that's why everything kind of looks kind of pale, a little bit duller, and I think that works incredibly well for the exhibit because it really does highlight the natural foliage within there. By the way, I love like the lawn turf right in the middle of the exhibit right there. It gives it such a splash of color that I'm now realizing most guests don't really see all that well, so that's kind of funny. But I don't know, I still love it nonetheless. It gives the otters a lot of room to play in, and it's just a really nice area altogether. I'm very happy with how well this entire build came out, but you know what I'm even happier with? You guys sticking all the way through to the B-roll, to the cinematics, which should be happening anytime soon. Just give it a few seconds and they'll be here. I also love those logs in there. They gave it such a unique look, and in the screenshots they look so beautiful. But here we are in the final cinematics. I really do want to sit down and thank you guys for stopping by for this video. I know, Riverbend hasn't really been doing too good on the channel, but for all my Riverbend fans out there, it's really awesome to keep on making stuff for you guys. This zoo really means a lot to me because it was just such a, I don't know, like an explosion of creativity from me, and I always love coming back here. I love the shot of the otter, by the way, it's so cool. I always love coming back here just to like do these really fun, innovative habitats, and I really hope you guys enjoy it as well, because I don't like abandoning zoos. I don't like it at all. But I always love the fact that I can come back to these zoos, and you guys will always be there just to like, you know, cheer it on and be so excited to see what new additions have come to these areas. And I don't know, I really hope you guys like this new addition. I really do hope you guys enjoy the series. I hope you guys enjoy the channel, and I really do hope you guys enjoyed your time here today. If you guys aren't already subscribed, be sure to subscribe. We just passed 5,500 subscribers, and that is such an insane landmark milestone over here. I know we just passed 5,000, and that was insane, but I love seeing how far we can actually go with it. So I just wanted to thank you guys again for all your support. Thank you guys always for being here, and all that being said, I'm gonna take you out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Take care and have the most wonderful of wonderful days. Bye bye now.